Appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. It was obviously coming off only one game last week. It's a little bit of a unique situation, but also I think it came at a good time for us. At halfway mark, I think, we go back to Thursday and Friday, did a light workout with the guys on Thursday. Friday got after it pretty good for an hour and 15 minutes and gave them a couple days off. I think it's that fine line you're walking from a sense that we're obviously in a good rhythm, finding ways to win. You want to make sure you keep that edge. You can't relax. You can't get comfortable. At the same time, you're nicked up, banged up a little bit here and there. It's a good time for us to recharge. But certainly very pleased, very proud of our guys figuring out ways to get wins. Also excited. I think there's plenty of room for growth for this group. And the interesting thing to me is you look at this league, usually by now you start to see, sections of a league. You start to see the top 2 or 3 teams kind of separate themselves and have a good amount of confidence going into every game. Then there's the middle of the pack teams, and then there's the teams towards the bottom, and you start to see that separation. And when you go into every game, when you look around our league, there's none of that. The parity from top to bottom is crazy. It really is. And ORU tied towards the bottom, comes in here, and they got a 13-point lead on us in the second half. Western Illinois goes to South Dakota, gives them a ball game, turns around and beat IUPUI at home. So, it's parity. It's good. It's crazy in a sense how fast this thing is coming to an end, but it's so important that we lock in and realize every moment, every film session, every opportunity that we get to compete and get better is so vital with us going forward. And certainly turn around and play IUPUI on Wednesday, a team that I thought, really gave it to us, for a good stretch of it, beat us up on the glass. And so there's no question they're going to be locked in and tuned in for us. And then obviously South Dakota, won a couple. They got Tyler Flack coming back, a team that's right there, right under us. And so it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be a competitive week, but they all are this time of year. So take any questions.
With it being the halfway point of the season and you having a week off, have you had a time to kind of reflect? You're just so focused on the next game.
Yeah, it's all about what's next. Certainly very pleased, and certainly I hope that we're building that confidence and swagger that comes with being the first place team. But also, I think it's that fine line of going back to who we were early of not handling prosperity well. We've got to remain humble and hungry because, just like I said, there's no gimmies in this league.
How is the health of your ball club?
Again, I think it's as good as it's going to be. I think the one thing, Malik is showing good progress. Obviously, he's not back, but we've gotten some good news that he's progressing well. And then it just comes with the territory. Paul had the ankle actually happen against IUPUI. I think it was a good time to get him off and get him a little break. And just the wear and tear that comes with it, but all things considered, we're pretty healthy.
You guys talk about team goals. Do you ever discuss, whether it's with the staff or with the players, NCAA tournament seating, like if we win 13, 14 league games, we could get off that 15 line, move to the 14, or is that just not a part of it?
No, Ross, I was talking to somebody else. I'm not real great on goals other than, let's get better today, really. And again, you start looking so far ahead about this goal, that goal, and you're going to miss opportunities, in the here and now. And I think that's what's driven, this program, so to speak, the last couple of years is we've just really focused on getting better, whether we win, whether we lose, controlling the things that we can control.
A little over halfway into the season, and Tyson Ward's already established a role for himself on this team. Last year, Kai Cabelas did the same thing. Coach Olson really went all corners of the country to get these guys. What does that do for your squad from even a recruiting standpoint and just an overall basketball standpoint?
Well, I think it just speaks to our culture. It continues to speak to it. Again, our culture is defined by the guys that have been there, done that, understand it. Carlin, Dexter, AJ, Paul, those 4 guys obviously come to mind, and they're setting great examples. And then is the message that we go out with when we recruit you as a family is, again, I'm not in everybody's homes or offices on other teams. But it's different. In a sense, we do a lot of, not to be an arrogant, but selecting. We want to make sure you understand what it is to be here and what it takes to be here and really want to be here. And so we lay that out on the front side. And you can't cross all your I's and dot all your other way around. You can't cross all your T's and dot all your I's until they're actually in here and you really know what you're getting. But for the most part, we have a pretty good understanding of what we're getting by the message that we give to those kids and their families.
Would you prefer to play this past Saturday, the kind of groove you guys have been in?
Let me answer that question Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Again, I really think it can go both ways. And Dom, I was really excited. It was a joyful, jubilant locker room after Oral Roberts, but that was a big part of my message was, you can't relax at all, gentlemen. You need to recharge. You need to be smart with your bodies. But as soon as you think you've made it, boom, you're going to get smacked really good. You're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. And someone just told me, and I don't know exactly if it's of our 7 wins, we've trailed in the second half of 5 of those. It might even be in the last couple minutes. It's just so crazy. And I wouldn't trade it, obviously. 7-1 with a 2-game lead, make no mistake. But there's such a fine line.
This is the first, you're through a lot of this season now. You're practicing here, you're working out here, you're playing here, everything's here for the first time. How much have you seen that have a positive effect on your group?
Yeah, I know for the routine, it's so nice, from a staff perspective, and then for our guys, that continuity, that structure of knowing the wins, the wheres, the hows of that you're going by it, and as much as, especially with the young group that we have, as much as you can keep it familiar and in routine, that's big, and it's part of the reason why, in a lot of senses, we would have liked to have practiced yesterday, but then we would have had to take a day off. But if we this is our routine now. Sundays will be off days, Monday, Tuesday, play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, play Saturday. That's who we are the next 4 weeks, and that's why we wanted to just kind of get into this routine of our schedule, but also, again, having it all under this one roof has been, it's been special.
Last week, the guys kind of said they really wanted to play a full 40. How do you feel your team is progressing to reaching that goal of playing a full 40 in game?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing. The most important part is from a sense that we're finishing. I still think, and they would tell you, I don't think you've seen, Western Illinois was pretty close to it, but we still didn't have, I wouldn't say all of our guys clicking for all those 40. So again, we talk about ways to get better and opportunities for individual this and that to happen. I think that's still a big part of it, where we can get this all clicking on one cylinder for 40 minutes.
Dave, we haven't spoken to you since the news became official at the University of North Dakota. Your thoughts about them now becoming a league member?
Yeah, I think from our perspective as men's basketball, it makes, a lot of sense in so many ways. We have the schedule, the home and home with them same season. But I think the biggest thing is for 2 things is scheduling right now is a nightmare. Trying to get those games, so that alleviates a little bit of that, the travel perspective. But hopefully, not just from the UND's perspective with us, but from a total league perspective of having 10 teams, now getting back into the routine of the Thursday, Saturday, I think, and that's what I'm most excited about. You look at, there's a Summit League game on Tuesday this week. There's a Summit League game tomorrow. There's Wednesdays, there's Thursdays, there's Saturdays. That for our fans, selfishly, for them to get into a routine, I think is going to be big. And so I think of all the things that we're excited about, take the name, North Dakota out of it or whoever, it's the 10 teams in the league right now to give the league some stability and consistency.
From a scheduling standpoint, in a perfect world, would you like to go Thursday, Saturday once UND's in the mix?
Yeah, I haven't, dove into it, all that deep. But, yeah, I think so. I think that there's certainly there's going to be some tough, when you're on the road, there's some tough turnarounds in between. And you're going to decide when you're traveling after the game, the next day, some 5-6 hour trips. But the beauty of that, then there's a consistency for the most part with you when you have your travel partners of everybody's got to go through that same routine. And there's really, like 2 weeks ago when we go to Western and they're sitting on us and we've got one, there's not that variable within it. If everybody's mirrored, so to speak, I can deal with it.